This offense will have you destroying any defense you face in Madden 26. From insane passing setups, tricky run plays, and one-play touchdowns, this offense will immediately have you scoring more points. We'll be going over the Lions offensive playbook, going over the formations, gun Y off trio close, and gun trio Y flex. At the end of the video, I'll have live gameplay to show you how the scheme works against real players. And for the full scheme, with even more unstoppable setups, you can check out playbookprofessor.gg, and the link is at the top of the description. Now, let's get into the video. The first play we're going over is slot under H angle in the formation gun trio Y flex. Now this setup is a one-play touchdown versus cover 3 or cover 4. And one thing to always remember is that you want the trip side on the wide side of the field. And for the adjustments, we're going to put the solo wide receiver on a post, we're going to block the running back, and then lastly, we're going to put the outside trips receiver on a comeback. So the play should look like this. Now sometimes when you make certain adjustments, you're gonna see that the O-line changes their blocking assignments. When that happens, we want to change their blocking assignments back to base. We could do that by pressing LB or L1 and then down on the left stick, and now we have base protection. Now you're gonna see on defense, I'm in a cover 4 drop right here, and you're gonna see that this will completely bomb cover 4 drop, and you're gonna see we can pass to this post with a pass lead to the outside, away from any defenders, and we get an easy one-play touchdown against cover 4. So now we're going to go to a cover 3 zone. So right here, we're in a cover 3, and then we're going to set up our play. And it's going to be the same exact setup that we had last time. We're going to make sure we base protect again, and we're going to snap this ball. And what we're going to do is try to buy as much time as possible. Then we could heave the ball with a pass lead to the outside, away from defenders, and almost get a one-play touchdown, but you can see right there, it was still a one-play bomb if our tight end was a little bit faster there. Now I want to show you exactly why this works against cover 3 or cover 4. What you're going to see here is that this comeback will pull any deep third or quarter down. So he won't be able to guard this post because, again, this comeback is pulling that player down. Then this seam streak is pulling any deep inside quarters or inside thirds up the field away from this post. That creates a ton of room in this quadrant of the field for an easy pass lead to the outside and a one-play touchdown. The next play we're going over is flood in the formation gun Y off trio close. Now one thing to always remember is that you want the 3 wide receiver side on the wide side of the field in this formation. Now for this play, this is a man and zone beater, and it requires only one adjustment. We're going to put the middle wide receiver on the 3 wide receiver side on a drag, and this is the setup. Now first I want to show you this play versus zone coverage. So we're in a cover 3 defense here, and your first read is always going to be the drag route. Now when we snap this ball, this drag is very good at getting underneath any zone defense in the game, and a lot of the times you could hit them just like that in the middle of the field underneath for an easy couple of yards. Now your next read in the play is going to be the zig route by the tight end, and this zig is really good against man or zone. You're going to see against zone defense, he's going to have that open window right there to hit in a lot of the time. So right there, again, we're in a cover 3. We can even go to a cover 4 here. We could shade underneath to put hard flats on the field, and you're going to see that this zig is going to find an open spot just like that for an easy pass and a good gain. Now why is that open? Well, it's very, very simple. Because this little out route by the outside wide receiver pulls flats towards the sidelines, opening up this space for our zig route to the tight end for an easy pass. Now, when we're hitting that zig, a lot of people might just try to put a vert hook on the field. Now, if they do that, a lot of the times, that will open up our out route by the outside wide receiver, which is our third read. So we're going to snap this ball, and if they try to guard the zig with a vert hook, well, that's fine, because now we have that out route by the outside wide receiver open on the sidelines. Now, our last read in this play is the solo wide receiver on the dig, and this is one of my favorite routes in the game because he really gets into a good window, an open window between the linebackers, and sometimes we do have to highball the pass by holding LB or L1 to get that ball over the linebackers. So I'll showcase that right here. You're going to see that I'm going to hold LB or L1, and we're going to get that pass over the linebackers. We could aggressive catch that by pressing wired triangle, jump for the ball, and get an easy gain over the linebacker's head. So now let's go to man coverage. So we're going to go to cover 1 robber press. We're going to press our defense, and then we're going to set up our offensive play. Well, the great thing about this play is that every route beats man coverage. So I'm going to snap this play here, and you're going to see that the drag does a great job of creating separation, pass lead to outside, and then we're out of the gate, and we could get a lot of yards to that drag versus man. Now let's check out the other routes versus man coverage. So here, let's check out the zig route by the tight end. We're going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that the zig is able to create a ton of separation. We even can sometimes get really good bumping for us to get players even more wide open, but you saw right there that the zig created a ton of separation versus man. Now we have 2 more routes to check out, and I want to show you real quick the out route by our outside wide receiver. This out route is surprisingly very good against man. You're going to see here that he can create a lot of separation with a pass lead to the outside, and we get an easy 5 to 10 yards to that out route versus man coverage. Now the last route we have to check out is the dig, and this is one of the reasons why I love this play. It's because a lot of the users that we play will try to guard the zig, the drag, even the out route, and that will leave the dig wide open in the middle of the field. Sometimes you got to wait a little bit longer to get past that one player, but here we could pass lead it to the outside and we get an easy catch on the sidelines to that dig that beats man defense. The next play we're going over is Mtn Mesh Rail, and this play is more of a zone beater, and again, you always want to be sure you have the 3 wide receiver side on the wide side of the field. Now for the adjustments, we're going to put the solo wide receiver on a streak, then we're going to put the middle receiver on the 3 wide receiver side on a post, then we're going to put the tight end on a drag. And the reason I say we're going to put him on a drag, he might look like he's on a drag now, but that's actually an option drag, and we want an actual drag that runs across the field no matter what. So we're just going to re-drag him, and the play will look like this. Now when I press the hike button, you're going to see that our player goes into an auto motion wheel. And when this ball is snapped, our first read is going to be the seam streak, and if that's open right there in that little pocket, we can hit him for an easy gain up the seam and just force the defense to guard the seam, because that seam streak is honestly really hard to guard sometimes, and it'll just keep your defense or your opponent on their toes. Now your second read in this play is going to be the tight end drag, and this tight end drag is just really good at getting underneath any zone in Madden 26, and right there we get an easy 8 to 9 yards. Sometimes if there's no defender at all in that spot, I like to pass lead that ball up, get a good rack catch, and get some extra yards. Now our next read in this play is going to be the outside wide receiver on the auto motion wheel. And the reason being is because against a cover 3 zone, you're going to be able to throw this auto motion wheel with a pass lead down just like that, and then possession catch that for an easy gain. Now you may be asking, why is this open? Well, it's very, very simple. What you're going to see here is that this streak is going to be able to push back any of the deep zones on this side, and then this guy, he's kind of trailing this defender and this receiver on the streak. That means that we could pass lead this ball down just like we did in this play, then come back to the ball, and sometimes we could come back to it and sometimes we could possession catch it. Right here I possession caught it and we got down to the ground before any contact was made, and we got an easy catch. So I'm going to show that one more time. So again, usually I like throwing this against a cover 3 zone, so right here cover 3, then we're going to put a streak by that solo wide receiver, a post by that middle receiver. We're going to snap the ball, and I forgot to put the tight end on a drag, but that is okay for this rep. And you're going to see that we're going to have this outside wide receiver on the auto motion wheel, just like that, for an easy possession catch on the sidelines. Now our next read in this play is going to be the post route, and you're going to see against zone defense, he gets underneath deep blue zones and over the top of the linebacker. So right here, we can pass this ball down just like that, come back to the ball with an aggressive catch, and get an easy dot down the middle of the field. Now, why is that open? Well, it's all because of these streaks right here. This streak is pulling back the inside quarter here, or the deep third. This is pulling back any outside quarter or outside third, and then that opens up this post deep down the field. Now, the other thing too is that this drag by the tight end will push any of the linebackers down to guard him, and that just opens up this intermediate part of the field right here for an easy catch and throw. Now, something I do want to mention here is that we still have this wheel route by the running back, and sometimes versus zone, if the defense isn't guarding the flats on that side, sometimes we can hit them just like that right there for an easy catch. That's something to look out for. It's not going to be there every time, but it is something to look out for just in case the defense is not guarding the flats on that side. The next play we're going over is smash return in the formation gun way off trio close. Now this play is going to be a man or zone beater, and again, you always want the 3 wide receiver side on the wide side of the field. Now for the adjustments, we only have 2. We're going to put the middle receiver on the 3 wide receiver side on a fade, then we're going to put the tight end on a streak. And again, if you see that your O-line is now sliding or full sliding a certain way, we're going to base protect by pressing LB or L1 and then down on the left stick. And now we're going to be either base protecting, and sometimes it goes into a half slide. That's fine. Half sliding is fine. We just don't want a full slide. Now our first read here is always going to be the seam streak by the tight end, and you're going to be surprised on how open this is a lot of the time. So right there, he's open. We can pass lead that down away from any of the deep safeties, and we get an easy catch. So that's going to be our first read no matter what in this play. Now after we look at the seam streak, our next read is going to be the running back swing route, and if there is no flat on the field, we could hit the swing route just like that. We could rack catch it and then get up the field for as many yards as possible. We want to make sure that our opponents are guarding the flats, and if they're not, we're going to hit that route every single time. Now our next read in the play is going to be the return route, and this return is so good against man or zone. You're going to see here that against zone defense, a lot of the times we're going to have this in the middle of the field just like that. We could just literally no pass lead at all right there. We could just press the button, rack catch it, get up the field for an easy gain. Now the reason that's open a lot of the times is because you're going to see, and I simulated it here, that a user is going to go with the seam streak a lot of the times, and that will open up the return route in the middle of the field just like that. Now that return is also really good against man coverage, and you're going to see, so I'm going to press the defense just like a lot of people do when they're playing man. I'm going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that the return creates a lot of separation right there. We could pass lead that away from the defender and get as many yards as possible. So that return is a really reliable route because it beats man and zone defense. Now our next read is going to be the dig route by our solo wide receiver, and this dig is also great against zone or man. So you're going to see here against zone defense, a lot of the times we're going to have this open pocket. Right there, I highballed by pressing LB or L1 to get it over the linebackers. And you saw right there, we had an open pocket, and we were able to get an easy dot. So I want to show you here that even though this linebacker is covering him here, well, now we're putting this defender in conflict because he either has to guard the return route or the dig. So if he chooses to guard the return, well, then we can just highball over him and get this easy dot to the dig. But if this player chooses a dig route, well, that's fine. Now we have the return in the middle of the field. So it just puts players in conflict, and it creates a lot of open receivers to get some easy throws. Now I want you to see this dig route versus man coverage, because against man, this dig absolutely fries. So I'm going to set up my play. The defense is in man, and you're going to see that this dig creates a ton of separation. You can pass lead that outside away from the defender, and we get an easy dot to the dig. So it's a super reliable route as well. So we have two really reliable routes in the return and dig that beat man or zone. The next play we're going over is motion PA cross switch in the formation gun way off trio close. Now again, you always want the 3 wide receiver side on the wide side of the field. And for the setup, what we're going to do is put the outside wide receiver on that auto motion dig on a flat. Then we're going to drag the tight end. We're going to put the running back on a Texas. And then we're going to put the middle wide receiver on the 3 wide receiver side on a fade route. So I know that's 4 adjustments, but I promise you this play is worth it. It's just a really good play that beats man or zone coverage. Now our first read is always going to be the tight end on the drag route. And just like before, this drag is really good at getting underneath any zone in Madden. And if you see right there that he's open underneath, we're going to hit that player every single time underneath for some easy yards. Now that drag is also great against man coverage. So here we're playing man, we're going to press our man coverage, and we're going to set up our play, and you're going to see that this drag is just really good at creating separation. We have a pass lead to the outside, and then we're out. We could go for huge yards against man defense. Now our next read in the play is going to be the Texas route by the running back. Now the Texas route is really good against zone or man, and you're going to see against zone, a lot of the times we could hit him underneath just like that as he's trailing the tight end drag, and we can hit him for some easy yards just like that. Now the great thing is that it also beats man coverage really, really well. So we're going to press our man once again, we're going to set up our play, and you're going to see that this angle route, or the Texas route by the running back, creates a ton of separation. We can pass that to the outside, get a ton of yards away from that defender. So that Texas route is super reliable versus man defense, and I highly recommend it. And really any offense that you run, just have it somewhere in your scheme. Now your third read is going to be the flat route by the outside wide receiver. And if the defense doesn't have any flats, like if they're not guarding the flats, we're gonna hit him every time. We can pass lead that ball up, rack catch it, and that was a weird rack catch, but we still were able to get 5 to 10 yards there. And again, if the defense doesn't have any flats on the field, we want to hit the flat every single time. Now our last read in this play is going to be the crossing route by the solo wide receiver. And this crossing route is exceptional versus man or zone. You're going to see against zone defense, we're going to have an open pocket there to hit. in the intermediate parts of the field towards the sidelines. And I just want to show you that one more time as to why that's open. So right here, we have our play set up. I'm going to base protect. We're in a cover 4 drop shaded underneath. We're going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that this little crossing route is going to get wide open on the sidelines just like that for an easy catch and an easy dot. Now, why is that open? It's all because of pull routes. And versus zone defense, you're going to see that this little fade route by that middle wide receiver is going to push back any deep outside blue zones. And then this crossing route is going to run underneath that deep blue zone for an easy dot towards the out of bounds or towards the sidelines. Now, the great thing about that crossing route by the solo wide receiver is that he beats the heck out of man coverage. So we're going to go to man coverage here. We're going to press our man coverage. We're going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that that crossing route just torches man. We can pass lead it outside away from any defenders and get an easy dot to the crossing route. So that crossing route is just exceptional versus man defense. The next play we're going over is motion inside zone in the formation gun way off trio close. Now, even though this is just a normal inside zone, it's actually pretty good, especially because we have this auto motion by the wide receiver. Now, because we have this passing play where we have motion mesh rail, when we set up this play, it's a passing play, right? Well, if we run that play a couple times, and then we run this play, it's going to make the opponent think that we're running a passing play and maybe force him to pass commit thinking that we're going to pass. But little does he know that it's actually a run play up the middle. And even though, again, it's an inside zone, the blocking is pretty decent. And again, we're able to get some pretty decent yards a lot of the time. So you just want to be sure that you run this play and motion mesh rail so you can always just make your offense unpredictable, because we have two plays that look the exact same pre-snap with this auto motion. So it will force the opponent to kind of just think like, oh God, is this a pass? Is this the run? What do I do? Do I pass commit? Do I run commit? So it just forces them to think, and that is the key thing that you need to do. And you see right here too, that I'm getting positive yards almost every single time in this play right there. We just read our gap and now we're out. So you see this inside zone is pretty dang good, and it just forces the opponent to always think about what we're doing offensively. Now, let's get into the gameplay. I'm starting this game off with Mtn PA Cross Switch, and let's not get a false start here. We're gonna snap the ball, and right here, we have our little crosser, pass lead outside. We have Jamison Williams, who's very, very fast, 98 speed, I believe, and we get an easy first down there. I think we get about 30, 40 yards right there. Now we're gonna hit them with flood right here where we just put a drag on that middle wide receiver. Again, we're gonna read underneath right here. Nothing's really open underneath. We might have to scramble here. We do it, Jared Goff, we're gonna slide. If nothing is open, remember, you could throw the ball away and you could run with the quarterback. You don't need to throw it into coverage. And sometimes they just play a really good rep and you have to throw the ball away. Right here, we have B, boom. That was flood right there. It's really hard to guard. That's a touchdown. Let's go. That is okay. So we're going to go to this setup here. We're going to snap ball. Look at the seam streak. We have the seam streak right there. Pass lead it away. Very good, very good, very good. Little possession catch right before we get hit by any of the defenders. I actually think I want to go to that one more time. We're going to go right back to this. We're going to read the seam streak. Then we're going to read underneath. Seam streak. Up, open, open, open. Good job. Good job. Easy touchdowns. Let's go. All right, we got our stop. We're going to go right back to this setup because he's having trouble guarding it. So we're just going to keep running until I see him do something different. I'm going to read that seam streak. Seam streak. It's open. Seam streak away from the defender. Boom. He's not guarding the seam. Let's go little stick. Great blocks. Come on. Let's do this. Get it. Oh, no. I tried to stiff arm. I thought we were going to get a stiff arm. We did not throw him to the ground like I wanted to. This sucks. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit of a change of pace. We're going to go right back to the flood, and we're just going to put that middle wide receiver on the 3 wide receiver side on a drag. And right here, I like looking at the out route based off the alignment. Right here, we have our out route. We're going to pass lead it up, rat catch it, and then easy touchdown. Let's go. 21-point lead. Read underneath. We have underneath with the pass lead outside. Great job. Get that first. 3rd and inches. We're going to hurry up. Now we're going to go to Mtn PA Cross Switch, run this setup. Again, one of my favorites. We're going to look outside here. We have the outside, pass lead outside, possession catch. Good job. Get that first down. We might have had someone deep, but 3rd and inches. We're looking for something a little short. All right, we have it set up. Gonna read underneath first. So we got that drag and zig. Drag's open. We hit the drag. Very good. Very good. Get the first, third inches, probably second inches. I mean, very good. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna run that motion inside zone, make him think that we're passing it again, and then little does he know, it is an inside zone. So it just makes the defense think like, you know, we're running that motion for a pass play, and then randomly we have it as a run play, you know? So we're just keeping him guessing all the time. We're gonna double team this guy with the star because I just feel like he's gonna shed. Just try to get this. There we go. We got it. Very good. Go to the outside. Very good. Touchdown. There you go. So right there, like when someone sees that motion, sometimes they might even pass commit thinking like, oh, this guy's passing out of that set, out of that motion all the time. I'm just going to pass commit here. Then we hit him with that run. And, you know, we're just keeping them guessing every single play. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this video going over 20 tips that will immediately help you improve and win more games in Madden 26. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.